Well, if it isn't Big Jim Lamon.
We're tired of being pushed around.
And open borders.
And gas prices.
The good people of Arizona have had enough of you. It's time for a showdown.
Arizona Senate candidate Jim Lamon blasting Democrats, their failed leadership there. Leader of their party has led America to circle the toilet bowl on issues like foreign policy, the economy, crime, the border, and the China virus. Joining me now to share more on this is U.S. Senate candidate, retired Army Captain Jim Lamon, along with constitutional law attorney Michael Yoder. Captain, hat tip, your ad is going to run on Super Bowl Sunday, which has prompted a hissy fit from a bunch of extremists on the left. But you say it's resonating with the majority of Americans out there who are already tired of suffering under socialism pushed by Mr. Biden and the Democrats. What's the controversy about this video about?
Well, Chris, first, you got to be able to laugh when the stagecoach driver is bringing out the gas prices. I mean, come on. So we had a lot of fun with it. You noticed there that the head of National Border Patrol Council was with us, Brandon Judd, one of our best sheriffs on the line down at the border with Sheriff Lamb as well. What we're trying to highlight, obviously, Chris, is that the socialism, if not Marxism, now taking root in the Democratic Party, is causing havoc for the people in that village as we kind of project out into the entirety of the state of Arizona. The numbers that I see coming out of D.C. dramatically understate the financial impact out here. You know, most I see is $3,300. From our calculations, it's more like $6,000 for the average salary out here in Arizona, around $50,000, and that's a huge impact. Don't count the fact that electricity rates go up when you get a fuel adjustment, things of that nature. There's a lot else goes into that.
Sure. Well, Captain, you got to know, you were wearing a badge in that video, and you know how much left-wingers in this country hate law enforcement. So it's probably what's triggering them, if you'll pardon the pun. Michael, one of the many crises brought on by Biden is, of course, down there at the border. My home state of Texas, citizens and candidates running for office are clamoring for our state government to do a lot more, claiming that if Biden is going to break the law with his illegal flights, you know, enabling narco-terrorists, operational control of the border, and ushering a waterfall of fentanyl into America, that states have every right under the Constitution to protect their citizens from this invasion that Joe Biden's policies are implementing and welcoming in. Yet others say it's all up to Joe Biden. If he wants to break immigration law, it's up to him to do so. Who is right on this?
Well, the police powers, which are reserved to the states for health, safety, and general welfare of the citizens of that state, are not vacated as a result of some policy decision as to whether they decide they want to or do not wish to abide by the Constitution. The issue that we have right now with the Biden administration is that the enforcement arm, our Department of Justice, is remaining idle, and justice is supposed to be blind. It's not supposed to be stupid. It's supposed to take action, corrective action, and enforce the laws. There's an obligation and a duty imposed there. And when we have a president that's running rogue and allowing these people to pour in, whether it be for boasting and bolstering votes for the upcoming 22 midterms or the 2024 election, or whether it's to increase the other issue, which ties back into narcotics. I mean, they're drug mules as well. Are we becoming a pharma-dependent country? Are we running this for votes? Regardless of the motive, the problem is that the citizens of southern states like Texas, Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico need to have some vehicle in which they can remain free from their lives in danger.
Captain Lamon, Arizona getting hammered like my home state of Texas is on the border crisis ushered in by Joe Biden and his political party. Attorney General Mark Branovich released a legal opinion stating that under Article 1 of the Constitution, Arizona has the legal right to take action against an illegal alien invasion, but your governor isn't acting. Let me ask you, who's right in this case, your AG or your governor?
Well, certainly we have the right, as the constitutional gentleman mentioned, to take care of safety first for our citizens here in the state. And Chris, this is an invasion, 42,000 per week. I'm fortunate to have the endorsement of the National Border Patrol Council, all 21,000 members, Brandon Judd, Tom Holman, all of that team. and their hands are tied. And so Brnovich, you know, we've been under this invasion for over a year, and Ducey both need to get into doing their job and do it much more robustly, because people of Arizona are fed up with it. For Republicans that don't act in the interest of their citizens, which they're getting paid to do, and certainly not the liberals, who are absolutely overjoyed at the fact that we're seeing this overwhelming invasion. But the drugs and fentanyl is destroying communities in Arizona. We're on the front lines out here, and it's an absolute atrocity of what's going on. And we need to shout it from the rooftops from every Republican in D.C., from McConnell on down, that this has got to stop. Tie up the Senate legislation, stop business in the Senate until this southern border is secured, which I will do as soon as I get to Washington in January 23.
Well, God willing, somebody up there starts listening, because you're right. Real harm is being done to the American people. If there's ever a time to use every legislative trigger you can to save the American people from harm, yeah, Mitch McConnell, now is the time. Michael Yoder, retired U.S. Army Captain Jim Lamon. Gentlemen, thank you for your time today. Have a great weekend. Still